Ladies and gentlemen, I forgot to hit the record button on our training, and it was an awesome training with tons of great thoughts and strategies. So I'm super sorry. So
2 hours long.
I get to redo the trainings for you. So I just shared down below, you'll see them. I just showed two other videos. One about getting stuck in cycles and patterns. I'll reference that again. And then another one about what you're radiating out to the world. But for this challenge, as we're wrapping up, we literally have 20 days left in 2019. And it's the end of the year and the end of the decade. And so I want to invite you to see yourself right in between two decades. So to look at the past decade and then where you are right now today, and then the coming decade. And most of us aren't very used to doing this kind of big picture thinking and really like zooming out away from our lives. And for some of us, it's going to be uncomfortable, but it is really powerful to get a big picture, like to zoom way out from your life and say, what were the last 10 years like? What are the next 10 years going to be like? And here's the warning that I want to share. That if we're not really intentional about mapping out our 2020 vision, and yes, that's a play on words there for next year, and seeing we're mapping out our 2020 vision, then what happens to most people is they just keep living the same life again and again. And so instead of having years of experience, they have the same experience year after year. It's just repeat. It's like a broken record. Tomorrow is going to be just like today unless we make some changes. Next year is going to be just like last year unless we make some changes. And so the idea here is to look at the last decade and look at what happened. For some of you with younger families, you literally had all of your kids in the last 10 years. Like your whole family was created in the last decade. That's awesome. For others like us, we already had a few kids, but our family grew significantly. And we went from having little ones to teenagers. Some of you had teens that are now moving out. Maybe you've become a grandparent in the last 10 years. Some of you have made massive shifts in your career and your life and where you live and how you live. But I want you to take an evaluation, just make some time and think, okay, what happened in the last 10 years? And what would I do differently? What would I do differently? And you might actually have pause and say, what do I regret? What do I regret doing? What do I regret not doing? And there's a couple for me that I regret not doing. I wish I would have taken action. Literally 10 years ago, I started my first podcast. And I only got into a few episodes and then I stopped. It was a lot harder back then to make podcast episodes, but that's just an excuse. We were traveling, but that's just an excuse, right? It's always excuses. I wish, and I deeply regret this, I wish I had been podcasting for the last decade instead of just for the last year. My podcast is growing. It's having a huge impact. People love it. But man, I would have had hundreds of episodes, hundreds, if I kept going. Oh, so I regret that. So, the best time to have planted a tree was 20 years ago. Second best time is right now. And so that's what we're doing. We're taking this moment in time and saying, what do I wish I would have done differently? Or what did I do that I loved? Like what is working right now? What's awesome? I'm going to keep doing that, right? And so carry that over. And then today I'm going to invite you to think about the next 10 years. What do you want to achieve? What do you want to accomplish? And think about that right now. Write some things down. For Rachel and I, we want to buy a chateau in the French Alps. Like we love France. We want to be over there. And you're invited, right? We're going to have it so it has tons of guest bedrooms and just, it's our dream. It's our dream setup. It has a huge library and a music room with all kinds of instruments and recording equipment and an art room with every art supply and an exercise room and gardens and greenhouses and animals and rock climbing walls, just the full works of just learning and awesomeness. That's our dream. My other big dream that's for me personally is this massive impact, to be a great force for good in the world, to get in front of tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of families to make a difference. I'm going after it. This is what I'm doing in the next decade. So what do you want to do? What do you want to achieve? And for the simplicity of this whole training is that if we don't, again, I already said this, like if we don't make significant changes, then we'll just stay in the same patterns. We get caught in cycles or patterns or ruts, and we'll come up to an opportunity and fear, hesitation, doubt, worry, procrastination stops us. And so then we end up cycling back and we come around again. I don't know. We cycle around, we stay there perpetually. But we have a chance to make a big difference. And so every time we do a training like this, it's a wake-up call to say, whoa, pattern interrupter, like, how are things going here? Where do I need to make some changes? How do I need to make a shift in me? Because it all starts with the core. Everything radiates out from you. Let me hit that real quick. You're the core of everything in your life. And so whatever's happening here in your mindset, in your heart set, and your skill set is radiating out to every area of your life. Finances, family, work, impact, neighborhood. I mean, it's all there. Now, there's other people, and they're radiating out things too, but we're not worried about so much what they're doing. We're worried about what we're doing. Because if I have something that's off here, if I have an emotional pain or hurt, it's going to affect everything. And there's not, like, moving to a different city won't change that. I'm taking it with me. Getting a new job won't change that. I'm taking it with me. And I'm radiating out who I am. I teach who I am. I parent who I am. I'm in my marriage. I'm married. I practice marriage as I am. In my finances, I do finances as I am. And so the best thing we can do for ourselves and for others is to make the most of ourselves, to get our core in the best place possible. Because again, you can't run. People go out traveling, they move to a different place, they try all these different careers or sports or hobbies or whatever, trying to run from themselves. But what they don't realize is they're taking themselves everywhere they go. And so it's affecting everything. And so the most important work you do is inside of yourself. Hands down, most important work you ever do is inside of yourself. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. Okay, and here's, I shared those other videos. You guys can see that. But this is the pattern. If we get stuck in this pattern, right here is the chance to break away. And right now is a chance. We're ending the decade. We're ending the year. It's a chance to start as a new you, to get into those new habits. So what we do is we go back and say, now in my 10-year plan, the things I want to do you want to get in the best health of your life? I hope so. Do you want to just totally transform your finances? I hope so. Do you want to, level up your marriage and your parenting and training your kids? You guys, it's all about training. You're going to hear me say, train for greatness, train for greatness, train for greatness. It's all about training. It was Aristotle said that excellence is a habit excellence is an art won by training and habituation, by habit. Excellence is an art won by training and habituation. And then Archilochus said, we don't rise to the level of our expectations, we fall to the level of our training. So we might have $1 million dream, but if our training is only minimum wage effort, we'll never get to that dream. We're always going to fall back to our training. And so with that in mind, now I'm going to ask this question that is the basis for this whole thing. Is if I want something, so what do you want in the next 10 years? What do you want in the next year? What do you want in the next 3 years, 5 years? And the question is then, if I want, let's say X, then I must do Y. And it's actually an incredibly simple formula. And I want you to really think about that. Like what's your must? What must you get done? I'm going to move that a little bit there. What must you get done? What has to happen? And where we get this intense level of necessity. We raise necessity and we say to ourselves, this just has to happen. Non-negotiable, no exceptions, no exemptions. If I'm going to achieve the thing I say I want, there are things that I must do. What are those things? Spend some time with that. Man, you may want to just pause this recording and literally just ask yourself, like, okay, what are those things? What is it I really truly want? What needs to change? What do I want to transform in my life? And then what has to happen to make that happen? And then we draft out a clear plan, because otherwise, if we don't have the clear plan, then we're just letting life happen to us instead of making life happen for us. There's a huge difference in just letting life happen to us versus making life happen for us. And we can help things go right by having a clear plan. Now, what's interesting is having a big long-term 10-year vision. It actually helps you get through the first year of the challenges and difficulties and strain. If you're starting a new business, it's hard to get that thing off the ground. Having a 10-year vision and plan, an actual battle plan, helps you get there. And you guys, I love to say this and I love to think this for myself. I have no business being the same person next year that I am this year, because I should be better. Every day I should be a little bit better. And we're not talking massive transformations. I should be a little bit better. I should be updating my programming, right? I should be updating my software and my hardware. I should be making improvements. Every year should find me better, not just older. Some people are just going through life, and the only thing that happened in the last year is they just got a year older, right? We should be changing and growing and improving. Now we have to get a plan. And sometimes we get overwhelmed by the plan. We're like, it's so much work. And oh my goodness, I can't, I don't know. I don't want to have a plan. But if you think planning your life is hard, try living an unplanned life. That's brutal. We have elaborate, detailed house plans. We would never dare build a house without having the plans laid out and actually completed. The plans are completely done before we start building. So we know where everything goes and how it fits together, and then it's going to be a structurally sound house. We do it with big businesses. They have business plans. But where's your life plan? Let's get dialed in on having a clear life plan. Make this happen. Now, you guys, I'm going to do another training here in a couple of weeks for the, we're rebranding the Epic Life Planner to the Extraordinary Life Planner, because it's all about having an extraordinary family life, right? So the Extraordinary Life Planner, I'm going to go through training for that, of how to get a big vision picture of your roles, all the roles you play, and the areas of your life where you want to focus, and setting what I call the big dumb goals that are demanding and unrealistic and meaningful and bold, and the smart goals to achieve the dumb goals. So we're going to go through that, and then we're going to do a 28-day challenge every month with new themes and new challenges, where we're going to have real measurable progress through the year. Like 2020 is going to be your best year ever. And we're going to help you give all the tools you can to make this happen, that we can. Last thing. Okay. So what is it that has to change? I'm going to throw out some ideas here. We have to get systems in place that help us. Every one of us lives off of systems. We all have systems. Every day we're using systems, and we may not even be aware of it. In fact, most of the time we're not aware of it. The way we do things, the way you go to bed, how you sleep, what your space looks like, what your bed looks like, your bedtime routine, your morning routine, what you do in the morning, what time you get up in the morning, like the exact things you do in the morning, the way you do them, the way you have your house arranged, the way you interact with people. Like everything in your life is set up on systems. The challenge is that a lot of systems, with all the people I'm coaching and working with, I find out that a lot of the systems that they have in place are are operating in perpetual self-sabotage. The system is preventing success. Isn't that fascinating? Your systems are preventing your success. Oh, even better. Your systems are sabotaging your success. Oh, that's good. That's good. Your systems are sabotaging your success. I'm going to write that down. Systems sabotaging success. What am I talking about? I'm talking about if you're trying to get in health, get really healthy and fit and eat well, but your pantry's full of junk food. That's a system that's, and then you're going to try to exercise discipline to not eat that stuff. You're going to fail. So you just got to get rid of the junk food. We have, huge TVs and really small bookshelves. We're trying to read more, learn more, and become experts in our field, but we end up watching tons of TV. Well, the system's broken. Rachel, my wife Rachel, she just always struggled to work out because her system was setting her up for, it was sabotaging her success, because she'd get up in the morning and she'd get ready for the day. And then I'd say, hey babe, let's work out. And she's like, no, I already got ready. I'm not going to change, then shower and then change again. I'm not going to do it. So now her system is she wakes up and gets right into her exercise clothes. That's a new system. And so now she's far more likely to work out. Boom. Works great, right? It's beautiful. A lot of us are spending money on stuff and things that don't really bring us value to our life, aren't really important. We're paying these monthly fees to things like Netflix or whatever, and buying little gadgets and stuff that really isn't serving us. And then we say to ourselves that we don't have money to spend on books and improvement. So it's our system. Our system's broken. Some of us aren't operating on a good budget, and we're not saving and investing. And so we feel like year after year, our money's just running away from us. We don't know. Some of us have really ineffective schedules. And so we're constantly interrupted and we're really inefficient. So we're not getting things done. And we feel like, I just don't have time. I don't have any time to do this. I'm not getting anything done here. That's killing me. And we're sabotaging our own success. So when you think about, if I want to achieve something, then I must do what? What systems do you have to put in place? What changes do you have to make? And if you get total clarity just on that one sentence, if you get total clarity on that one sentence, it's going to change things, right? If I want to improve my relationship with my kids and dramatically shift my parenting, I must stop yelling at them and bossing them around. Boom, that's a really clear system. And then I'm going to put reminders up around. I'm going to tell them that and ask them to remind me. And I'm going to make a shift, a big shift here and with my skills. Because if I was 5 or 10 times more skilled at parenting and leading and mentoring and training my kids, I'm guarantee you I'm going to yell less, right? If I'm 5 or 10 times more talented in managing my own emotions and my thoughts, guarantee you're going to yell less. And so we set up the systems that are going to support us to do the things we know we must do in order to get this done. Isn't this stuff awesome? I love it. Okay. So there's going to be more coming out. I'm going to share more ideas, more training, more insights, more ahas and perspectives. But I want your questions. I want your the things you're working on. So below this video, will you share, you guys? Will you watch this and share and share it with people in the group here? Make sure and watch it and share with each other. Let's cheer each other on, encourage each other. What are the things that you know you must do? What are the systems you're going to put in place? And then please ask questions. If you don't know what to do, you know what you want to change, but you don't know what you need to do, ask. If you know what you need to do, but you don't know how to do it most effectively, ask. We've read so many books, hundreds and hundreds of books. We can share book recommendations. We can share what we've learned from traveling all around the world and working with thousands of families as they're trying to improve their life. So ask questions, share, encourage each other. What are you guys going to work on? How can we help each other? What are your big goals to finish the year strong and then start next year crazy strong? And so we're actually, again, the way you start your morning helps the day go right. The way your days go helps your years go right. And the way we're going to start this decade, so 2020 is kind of going to be a big push to starting the decade really strong. And we want it to be awesome. We want it to be extraordinary. And so let's get after it, make it happen. Let us know how we can help. Share in here. Let's go get this done. And remember, train for greatness. Train for greatness. Model it for yourself. Model it for your kids. Be happy. You want your kids to be happy. They want you to be happy. Model happiness for them. Get after it. Make it happen. Let us know how we can help. You guys are awesome. Love you. Reach upward.